debate when it felt like we needed to do something to root us. Something that we could hold on to each day to look to for some moral wisdom and to help us get through each day, a day at a time. Looking forward to, a better time. Well, today is the inauguration, and no surprise, this Psalm 91, the second Psalm in Book 4, where Moses reappears, is the perfect Psalm for today. It really speaks to, I think, what many of us are hoping, because it brings back the leadership of Moses. Moses, who was the stutterer. Moses, who was, humble, but was just the right leader at the right time. And yesterday, yesterday's psalm was just so beautiful. Remember, it said, give me, wisdom. It asked for wisdom. It said, give me wisdom. It also, a heart of wisdom. But it also, there's this beautiful midrash that I don't think we mentioned yesterday, because it says, it also talks about how our lives are fleeting. We're just here to respond in holy ways, to do our part in the tikkun, the repair of the world for the short time we're here, and to make sure we leave the world a little bit better than we found it, for those who come after us. And there's still time. But there's a beautiful rabbinic tradition, because it says that for God, a day in the life of God is 1,000 years for a human being. And there's a beautiful rabbinic tradition that says that Adam was supposed to live 1,000 years. Remember, this is before, there was our intention to leave the garden so we could be part of the repair, but we paid for that with death. Adam was supposed to live for that 1,000 years. But he gave 70 years of his life to King David, who was meant to die at birth, but was saved by Adam's gift. That's where we get the phrase, there by the grace of God go I. So let this day, with this new leader that is about to be, these new leaders that are about to be inaugurated, let this day remind us of our humility and our purpose here. Because Psalm 91, which is also read on Shabbat, which is also read at Jewish funerals, and it was so perfect last night that we began this whole inauguration moment with the grieving for the 400,000 who have died of COVID. And this is a psalm that is also read at funerals. But in Hirsch's introduction to this psalm, listen to what he says. He says, the psalm continues through the thought expressed in yesterday's Psalm 90 with Moses, reminding us of our purpose. But he says that it reminds us that this is the turning point with which his mission marks the history of humankind, and declares that the nation which he has been called to leave was to receive now, through him, through Moses, this humble leader, freedom and moral law. Freedom and moral law. And so we continue with Psalm 91, with Moses singing of the protection and the historic immortality. Even though we don't have immortality, our legacy does, if we get it right, with which this nation will find under the direction of moral law. And then it says, why? Because it will lead us to supreme bliss on earth. So, what more perfect message for today than these two Psalms, yesterday, 90 and 91, with Moses as our moral guide, this humble stutterer, a man who needed other people to help him, but also had to work hard to choose his words carefully. And what was so beautiful about that is that when, we have to listen carefully. If someone stutters, you have to be patient, because they have something really important to say. So I think Joe Biden's going to teach us to listen. I was
talking to Maimonides this morning. Did I tell you?
Oh, good. Maimonides has a lot to say, I think, about all of this.
Yeah, and he was talking about Schadenfreude. So he asked me, he says, do you know what Schadenfreude is? I said, yeah, I think so.
What?
He says that's a natural to take some sort of pleasure in other people's misfortune.
Yeah.
He said,
it's not good.
That's not what it is, he says. He says, you'll have to teach people what Schadenfreude is, and then you will move beyond that.
Nice.
You will move beyond that.
Move beyond it.
And you will use this time to describe what something is not, because sometimes it's good to know what something is by first defining what it is not. Yeah. It's not always easy to say what it is, but you can say what it is not.
Right.
And he says, you've been living in a period, what it is not. It has not been a period of just, of righteousness, of truth, of compassionate responsibility for each other. You will have to move through that. And that's how you'll teach this period. You'll teach it for what it was not. And then you'll create now something finer.
Uh-oh, I don't see a sign here.
I don't have my...
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Anyway, that's what Maimonides said to me this morning.
I'm glad he spoke to you, because this is such an important day.
You know how he started, by the way? How he always opens with?
What?
Do you love me?
That was Uncle Charlie.
No, Maimonides. He always starts that way.
Yeah, because even Maimonides, even the great Maimonides, wanted to know if he was doing okay.
Do you love me?
How am I doing?
That's the way he always opens.
Oh my. So don't forget the essence of the Psalms. We offer the Psalms when we don't know what else to do, for the healing of the body and the soul of our loved ones, and certainly of the nation. But that's what we do. So we offer a Misha Berach as we prepare for Psalm 91 on this auspicious day in the life of this nation, and really because how important this nation is in the world, the life of our planet.
Refuat HaNefesh, Refuat HaGuf, for the healing of the spirit, the healing of the body, for the healing of the spirit, for the healing of the body, for those we know, for those we don't know. On my right, the angel Michael, on my left, the angel Gabriel, in front of me the angel Uriel, behind me the angel Raphael, and above my head, Shekhinati. Michael, who was like God, Gabriel, God is my strength, Uriel, God is my light, Raphael, God is my healer, and above my head, Mashpia, inspiration.
Yeah.
Shekhinati.
So, for Mendel, for Sam, for Louis,
for
Choco,
you, great healer.
for all the people that have COVID. Praying for healing for cancers.
Blessed are you, great healer.
For Rabbi Helen Dreyfus. For all the people that we know that we're holding in our hearts for healing on this day.
Amen.
And now for learning. For learning. Let there be a lot of learning. A lot of learning. Learning is what carries us through. Learning is what opens up something new. Learning. We need learning.
When you don't know what to do, learn something new. V'arev na Adonai Eloheinu et divrei torecha b'finu u'b'fi amcha beit Yisrael. Make the words of your teachings, may the words of your teachings, may the words of your teachings be pleasant on our lips and the lips of all of those that come unto our screens. All of those so we can spend the time in learning for pleasure and for its implications in our lives. Maaseh yadeinu konaneu. So that we can spend the time in learning for its purity, for its cleansing nature, and for its implications in our lives. Baruch atah Adonai melamed Torah le'amo Yisrael. Blessed are you who teaches to your people in this fashion.
Psalm 91.
Tomorrow's 10-string oud.
I'm telling you, we're gonna need to keep going with these psalms for a while. I think.
I don't know. It's day by day, kid.
It is. I know.
It's a daily concept.
You know, it's interesting that there's no
superscription.
It's almost like a continuation of yesterday's psalm, knowing that Moses is still guiding us here. Dwelling in secret, it begins. O you who dwells in the shelter of the Most High and lodges in the protective shade of Shaddai. There's an image here of the Bedouin, how the Bedouin invite you into their shade. There's nothing more important than the shade in the desert and the wilderness. And so the Bedouin, who are the experts in hospitality, radical hospitality, they teach us, how to be generous. And so they invite you into their shade.
There's also a nice two voices thing going on here too.
Right.
Sometimes
it's like
it's second person, sometimes it's first person.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you
that's always
and now.
Interesting.
But I will say, right?
God,
my refuge, my fortress, my God in whom I trust. Again, remembering that for the psalmist, God is this moral center, this moral calling. I mean, we're seeing that. We're seeing our country longing to be called back to a moral center, and that's what we're hoping, and that's why it says, "In God I trust." Here we go. It says that's what that means, right? Even on our money, even when it's written on our money, it means, come on, don't forget what this is for. Don't be, And then verse 3, that you will be delivered from the snare that is laid, from deadly pestilence, from the plague. So what will deliver us from the traps that are, and from the plague, right? From pestilence, from this virus. What will deliver us? That moral, those moral laws. Those moral laws will. You will be covered with pinions,
Wings.
like a wing, like an eagle protects their like a big bird protects their child, right? Wings, under these wings you will find refuge. Faithfulness is an encompassing shield. Believing in that moral center, following that moral guide, is your best shield. Verse 5. You need not
be
fear.
afraid.
Lo tira.
Pachad Laila, of night terror.
Pachad. Yeah, don't be afraid of the terror of the night, nor the arrows that fly by day.
The arrow by day.
Don't. That's beautiful. Isn't that a beautiful image? Pachad, the fear of the night. Or verse 6, this pestilence, right? It comes up again. I mean, we can't forget that's what we're fighting here. That's got to be number one, right? The pestilence that stalks in the darkness and the scourge that ravages at noon. This
death in the
virus,
afternoon.
is day and night. And then it says, 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 on your right, but it will not come near you. If you do what's right? We can stop this. We can overcome this. We've done it before. We just have to
you have to
remember.
Get through the aid. Look with
you
your
will
eyes.
only look with your eyes and see and witness what happens to the lawless. Look what happens when people lose that moral center. It's not just they that suffer, right? But
For
look
God
what happens to those.
Refuge.
Don't think that they're going to win.
God is
Don't
my
attach.
refuge.
Don't attach yourself to
those
the false winners, right? Verse 9. For you have you have created this godliness, my refuge, the Most High, the support of your life, this clinging to the moral center. And so, verse 10, right? No evil will befall you. And the plague.
The nigga.
Here we go. The plague shall not come near your tent.
Not in
so
your
there's
tents,
probably
baby.
not an accident, right? That there's so much talk about pestilence and plague and illness and sickness in this psalm on this day. How do we keep it from our tents? It's public health. We have to do our part. Each of us do our part.
The angels will
right?
protect you.
Isn't that nice? Angels will protect us, to keep us, to guard us in all our ways. But what are our ways? Our ways are doing the right thing. These are our ways.
They hold you
That's
in their
our
hands.
path, is doing the right thing. Verse 12. They will carry you on their hands.
Otherwise you'll trip over a stone.
Yeah, you don't want to trip on your stone. That's so sweet. What a beautiful image, right? You could tread on lions and snakes. You will trample young lions and serpents. But you'll still be okay. You can do this, because we know what to do to stay safe, to keep each other safe. Sometimes it's sacrifice. Sometimes it's hard. But we can do this. We've done it before. Verse 14. What does this mean? For it clings to me. His desire was for me.
His love for me.
Mm-hmm. His love for me.
And so I save him.
Mm-hmm. I will set it on high because it knows my name. Acknowledges my name. Acknowledges what is right.
And it can call on me.
Right.
And I will answer, and I will be there in tsuris, in troubles.
I will free it, and I will bring it to honor.
And I will honor him and rescue him.
Yes. I will. And finally,
Let's see.
Orech Yamim. Orech Yamim, the length of my days. Remember, we talked about how fleeting our days are. We talked about Adam being willing to give King David 70 of his years, of his precious years. You know, there is something about not just the length of our days, right? But the meaning of our days, however long they might be. And let us be satisfied with whatever length our days are. And let us remember that we never know what's going to happen tomorrow. So we will do the best we can today to let it count. And that will be our salvation.
Amen.
Amen. Beautiful psalm for this day of the inauguration. You have an interpretation?
Only you will see it. Watch for the repaying of the crooked.
Beautiful.
Move through it.
Yeah.
You are Hashem, my refuge, the highest foundation. No pain, no trouble will not come near your tent. The angels have commanded for you to protect you in all your ways.
Yeah, even from the danger that's out there.
They will carry you.
Do the right thing. Do the best we
carry
can.
You on your hand, on their hands.
Right. We're not doing this alone. And we've done it before.
Be careful not to stumble on a stone.
Or on a snake.
January
20th, 2021.
20th, 2021.
A day that will go down in history.
Telim on the ceiling.
As a day of hope. A day of lift. A day where the Psalms call us once again to that moral center, to that moral ground, so that we can get through these difficult times together. For the sake of Charlie and all of our children.
You know, Maimonides left this morning. He went down the boulevard with his little dog, Tiresias. And I heard him chanting, I heard him singing a song. I can't name the song, but I recognize the tune.
What was it?
I don't know what it was. I don't know what the name of it is, but I know the melody. And it was something to play on the 10-string oud.
Oh, that's tomorrow's psalm.
That's tomorrow's psalm.
That's tomorrow's psalm.
That's right.
92.
He said, "Sing it on the 10-string oud."
And you know, it's interesting. It's tomorrow's psalm. Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat. It's like reminding us that the day after we can take a breath.
Take a breath.
That'll be Thursday.
And you know how Maimonides always says goodbye?
How?
How am I doing?
How am I doing?
That's what he says.
I know.
See you tomorrow.
Okay.
Did you tell him we're coming late tomorrow? Is that
yes.
tomorrow?
Tomorrow we're going to be probably an hour late. But we will be here. We will be here. And thanks, Diane. We'll keep the Psalms going.
How am I doing?
We'll keep them going. Have a great day, a day of lift. We'll be watching with you as this next chapter in the history of really the world and certainly this nation turns towards healing and hope. So we'll see you tomorrow. We'll be an hour late tomorrow, but we will be on live again. Have a great day.
Baruch Hashem.
Day of lift.